Hello, welcome back for a bit of FarmerTorque chat photography. And I've been thinking about doing this vid for a while. Obviously, I make quite a few vids and do a load of photography. What cameras do I use? What's in the bag? Or any other multiples of clickbait that you care to name. Very simply, what cameras do I use? Straight away then, it's a bit more than one bag. So what shall we do? Let's start. The main cameras, and I've got one sitting here, despite a lifelong of Nikon use up until about 3 years ago. These are all Fuji now. And so XS10 there, and if I flick over, open the bag, and XT4 with the grip on. I won't go into these in great depth because otherwise the video is just going to go on forever. If you want to know, if you've seen this and if you want to know more about what, I'll put quick thoughts to what I think of these, but if it's of interest, we can go into it in greater detail later. So XT4, well, it's the flagship Fuji ASPC sensor. ASPC, so obviously a bit smaller than, somewhat smaller than full frame. And that was, and this is another subject for another video, how good a quality do you want? As I say, suffice to say, these are very good. And at the moment, as a balance behind my work, you can get pretty big prints, huge prints from one of these before you really start to notice the difference between this and full frame or bigger. So, and the real problem I have, if you were going to look at overall quality of my videos, for instance, which mix drones and other cameras, as you will see, it's that balance. And the last thing I need at the moment is higher quality stills or movie photography, because I use these for video as well. The drone is an area where we need to do. So we're happy with that. Bear in mind, of course, that there's the crop factor that comes in. So when we're talking focal length, we'll go through the lenses. And when we're talking focal length, bear in mind that it's a 2/3 factor. So I've got a 1655 here, which is something like an early 20mm 70-75 equivalent. So a 24 to 70, 75, something like that in the full frame mode, which is what most people think. And to be honest, it's what I still thinking. But right, XT4, their flagship at the moment, with the grip on, which makes it a load heavier. And I'll just make a mention that one of the reasons that I've got the Fuji system is because of weight and carrying it. Come on to that when we look at this bag here. All the main Fuji stuff is in this big bag here. And but I find the XT4 a little bit awkward to hold, and with the grip on, with farmer hands, it's a bit mighty. Also, 3 batteries in there. This will last forever, nearly, on the battery power. So that's handy. So, but I quite like the way it feels. Good old-fashioned manual things. We'll touch on it again in more detail, maybe. Really, really good. Really like them. Downsides, probably, compared to some ranges, Canon, Sony in particular, is the focusing. By any standards, it's good, and you have to, before you criticize it, you need to understand it. But there are times when anyway, lens, this XS10. Sister body, so 2 bodies, really useful, etc. But look at this. Now this is why I like the Fuji system. Same sensor, 25 million pixel size ASPC sensor as the XT4 here. Remember the grip, the XT4 is a load bigger, but it's not that big. But this thing is a killer size and weight, and surprisingly nice to handle. They put a lovely grip on this thing. And your spotting, I quite like this. And another killer feature for me on this is this lens. It's their Poverty 15 to 45 polycarbonate, and lens quality is okay. We'll come on to the XS red lenses in a minute. Okay, pretty damn good. I mean, it would bury a phone or anything else like that. But look at the size of it. I mean, 15 to 45, so that's going to be around early 20s to 80, something, no, 70, oh, 70. Great little combination. And of course, I've got that. Any lens will fit onto it. So this, 100 to 400, anything I want. So while I'm at that, so big fan of that. But also, there's, I had an XT3 before, and that, I struggled with the compatibility between picking up an XT3 and XT4. There were too many differences between them. This thing, loads of differences. PASM dial, for instance. Sorry, I'm getting a bit photographic. But the real key things, menus, all but the same. And use this a lot, this flick out screen. Really handy for video work. If I flick that on, there we go. I will just video you. If you'd like to wave back, please. Hello. Bored yet? And any which way I can go with the camera, or up, or yeah, same with XT4. So we like that. So there's the two main bodies. Now I touched on lenses. Fuji make what they call their top-notch lenses, the XS lenses, red lenses. And I'm lucky enough to have the whole, not the whole set, but the main ones. The 1655, the 50 to 140, 2.8. There's another one here. A 10 to 24, really, I use that a load. F4, I mean, if it could be 2.8, that would have been lovely. And two other dark horse lenses, a 16mm 1.4 crackling lens grommet, really close focusing, 1.4, so pretty fast 16mm, so that's a 20-ish, 20 something mil equivalent. Yeah, like that one a lot. Like this one a lot as well. Limited. This is a 50mm, so you know, you work it out. F1. F1. Bulky thing, but incredible depth of field. Damned good portrait lens, but great for other things as well. So we like that one. Pop this thing. Oh, this one, Bertha. Well, I say Bertha. Actually, for 100 to 400. So bear in mind, in full frame, that's 150 to 600. Really like this. The red lens quality. I can hear Hannah the Great Dane in the kitchen, if you can hear something, sighing. And whilst it's heavy, compared to a full frame, it's lighter. And there's the rub for the whole thing, and why at the moment I have the Fuji system is because I want to take most of this when I'm going somewhere. And if you weigh this lot and then weigh the equivalent full frame, there's a fair difference. And so there beginneth the debate. Right, what should we do next? Bits and pieces. And then we'll come on to drones. Okay, bits and pieces. Right, that's this bag. And I say bits and pieces, what shall I say? Action cameras, things like that, everyday sort of thing, vlogging cameras. So, DJI Osmo Pocket 2, my main vlogging camera at the moment. And if anybody's got any suggestions as to better or alternatives, please tell me. I've tried the Sony ZV-1, he says in America. GoPros, yeah, GoPros are fine, amazing stability, etc. But it's quality, and you've got the very wide angle lenses, and everything's in focus except it's not quite. So mixed feelings with the GoPro. This at least has it focuses, if that makes sense. So you do get a more normal picture, and it's pretty good. Well, it's very good, right up to a point. I would love a better quality vlogging camera that didn't weigh a ton. And the nearest I've got to it is the XS10 with the small Fuji that we've just seen. But it's, despite having very good in-body stabilization and lens stabilization, it's not quite good enough unless you're really careful for vlogging. So the Osmo Pocket works with this extension stick, which that works really well. GoPros I mentioned, I've got 3 GoPros now. One of my 7s has just failed. Got 1 7 and 2 8s, he says. There we go. These get clipped around everywhere, especially around bikes and cars when I'm doing a tarmac trails vid, for instance. Love-hate relationship with GoPro. Glitchy. It depends which tack you come from. Either infuriating or absolutely brilliant. Subject to go into in the future. What else have we got? Somewhere in here. Ah, yes. Oh, this one's fun. The Insta360 and so obviously, clue in the name, 360 camera. Various, I've got one back here, extension sticks, etc. What do we got back here? Oh, I'm professional at this, aren't I? This is quite good. This is a nearly 3 meter carbon extension. It's not really a selfie stick, but you can put this thing wherever you want and get some great fun shots. So yeah, we like that. Right, put that to one side. Sound, various microphones. It's quite a good quality Rode one that I use. Yeah, that's quite good. When that doesn't, I've got a Zoom H5, and that's quite good. It's another complication, another level of stuff to think about, but yeah, pretty happy with that. Various GoPro mounts and whatever else is in there. Oh, yeah, sound. Rode wireless goes. These are, you pop them wherever, so you could clip in, I use a mic here, you clip that on, hidden pretty much everywhere. Surprisingly good. So that's a sort of go-to system. And because with the Acres Insurance vids, the farming vids, I have to interview people and things. So I need 2 sound sources. This is the Wireless Go 2. So basically 2 units that sync into one. Brilliant, really works well. Interestingly, DJI are bringing out a competitor, so we'll have a look at that. So various GoPro batteries, as I say, mounts for GoPros, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. There's the action bag. Right, then the last one, drones, which is probably the one you're all interested in. And I've got 2 bags here. We've got one here, and this is where it all started. Well, not all started. I'll go back. I've had drones for years, so come back with it. Mavic Pro 2. This has been probably most of my videos, if you've seen them with drone work. With 3 years ago, this Mavic 2 came out. 1-inch Hasselblad's camera on the Hasselblad branding anyway. Really good drone. I've done loads with it, and it's been really good for me. Anyone wants to buy it, it's for sale, by the way. So, we just pop that one out. That's a bit of history. And that Mavic 2 is a clue to immense frustration. Because remember that I said earlier, if there's an imbalance in quality of my work, when I put a a farming vid, any of my vids together, if I've got video footage from the Fujis, basically that is on a different level in quality from the drones, good though the drones are. And it's just simple science and physics. It's just smaller sensors, etc., etc. So it was an improvement in drone quality pictures that I've been looking for almost since having the Mavic Pro 2. I think you'll probably know where this is going. So in here, I nearly went ta-da, but no, I'm not going to. Mavic 3. Now, I've wanted one of these things, as I've said, almost because I wanted better quality. This thing, the latest, at the moment infamous from DJI, 4/3 sensor, and that is a killer feature. Basically, the sensor is twice the size in area than the Mavic 2. Pixels are the same, but surprise, surprise, the pixels are bigger, and in certain areas, well, all through the board, this is better quality. Bear in mind that for the last 2 years, I've been wanting better quality. So here it is. It has been so badly launched, it's not true. And something I won't forget, DJI. Also, it's yet to be finished. We're waiting. I was promised as a buyer there would be a major update in January where we get panoramas, features, etc. All sorts of things, active track, etc. Some of it, little bits of it, came. We had a surprise update about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it is so rushed and it doesn't work properly in several areas. So I'm a muppet. Well, not quite, because I did say it had got a 4/3 sensor, and it forget what comparison videos you've seen. When I've seen the results, it is in pretty much any area loads better than the Mavic Pro 2, which I thought was good. So that's good. Flight time is a load long. I mean, it's a different game changer. And basically, I'll go into it I'll do a Mavic 3 vid, but in a strange sort of way, despite all the frustrations, I'm quite happy with that. What have we got? RC Pro controller. This is the latest one that comes with, well, it doesn't come with the Mavic Pro. That's another story that I'll put in the Mavic Pro vid. And I should mention, both these, on the face of it, ludicrously expensive. Or so loads of people are saying. If you look at it the other way and come back and say, right, I want the only other way of getting a 4/3 sensor size drone with this thing's abilities is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's with an Inspire 2. And that is several £1,000s more than this and a load more difficult to cart about. This is pretty fair quality, and look at it. Really handy. No knocking about with phones. That's the benefit of this. No, it's not cheap, etc. What do I think to this? I quite like this. I don't like I'm used to an iPad mini pad, and this is back to almost the biggest. It's about the size of my Max phone. But overall, yeah, really quite like it. Really neat and tidy. You can notice these are non-standard control sticks. That's a bit of a sneaky, I'll go into that with the Mavic Pro vid. So there you go, Mavic 3. Mavic 2 has done its bit, thank you very much. One of those. But for all sorts of reasons, and here's the clue, there. What's in here? You know already, because several of you have got one. This is an incredible little thing. Mavic, no, it's not a Mavic, is it? Mini 2. And woof, I mean, look at the thing. I often just have that in one pocket and the controller in the other. This is the controller that the Mavic 3 comes with. Don't go there. But for the Mini 2, it's fine. I'm hoping that in software, they allow, I can't do it at the moment, I can run my Mini 2 with this, And then I don't have to worry about that controller. But yeah, and because it's sub 250, you can fly this as pretty much anywhere. Really good, surprisingly good video in good light conditions. It falls off, it's a smaller sensor, so you know, it's not rocket science, is it? It falls off a cliff a bit in low light, which is one of the features, again, I wanted to get on the 3. But yeah, really like this, really handy, and yeah, and way to go. Right, what else? Oh, a few little bits and pieces. A crane, M3, the gimbal. Not long out, this thing, really powerful motors, can genuinely handle the Fujis. So yeah, got that. Tripods, yeah, there's an interesting one. Big, what is it? 058 Manfrotto. Fluid head on there, so that's good for video. Oh, my main tripod, here we go. It's easy to show tripods, isn't it? It seems I'm a bit of a Manfrotto man. Manfrotto. Carbon, what number is this? This is a 055 MF4, if you believe. Had it years, love it. Small head on there. I know a load of people like ball heads, and I'm not saying this is better, but this is what's the head? I cannot remember. MHX Pro. Got to be a pro, haven't you? But yeah, it's a full size carbon, so it's pretty light. I like this method of opening I like this thing. So that goes there. Oh. And then, in a way, this is again a Manfrotto, B3. Woohoo! But this, and now let's come back here, clank, clank, clank. And this is a final little bit here. So this bag here, let's put the Mavic 2 away. Whoops, there we go. Not the Mavic 2, the Mavic Mini. Whoops, what am I knocking the place down? Okay, now, what's in the bag? This is my go-to bag. And in this I have, and so if I'm going to go off and hike somewhere or wherever I'm making a video, Mavic 3, XS10, back on the weight thing, with the sneaky little lens, remote for the things, various, one or two small prime lenses I've got on there's a 35, 1.4 for instance, batteries. And I've got, and the choice of lenses that I've got a little bit more room in here, so I've got some flexibility. So here I've got the 10-24, could be good for landscapes. I'd probably maybe try and squeeze in the 50-140. And so, and then that's where this light, which side does it go in? That side. Yeah, it slides in there, sits on the side. And this thing is really light. I mean, it's not quite a full height tripod, but it does the job. And carbon again. And I come on about this carbon thing, but when you are on top more, and it's not very warm, alloy tripods are just painfully cold. And carbon is a big difference. So, yeah, top tip there. Right, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it interesting. An utterly useless whistle-stop waffly video about what cameras I use. If you would like more detailed, if you want one on drones or one on the Mavic 3, which I'll probably do anyway actually, a bit more about the Fujis, going in what I like and don't like about them, and also where we might go in the future. Please comment, let me know. In fact, yeah, it'd be fun to have a chat. Good, more vids coming along soon. Thanks for watching, and it's a sunny day. So best go out this afternoon and take some more pictures. Bye for now.